All right, y'all. Episode 139. Genius take the wheel. Yeah, these traffic officers are just. Well, I guess there was an accident here because a bunch of broken taillights all over the street, which kind of epitomizes what I'm talking about here. Um, these that's a guy with a walker. Where's that noise coming from? These traffic agents here in New York City are I haven't really lived in too many other places other than New York City, so it'll probably be difficult for me to say whether or not they're the worst. But I can tell you from experience that they're not very helpful. But a bit about today's training. First of all, a little housekeeping. Thank you for watching episode 139 of Genius Take the Wheel. Can't believe there's 139 episodes, but here we are. It is Thursday morning. And I am headed home from the gas station because I procrastinated for a while. Um, I have to kind of procrastinate because in order to keep my little 10 cent per gallon discount, I have to wait until there's at least 10 gallons worth of space in my gas tank. And it's easy to do in the Mercedes. That's like a 21 or 22 gallon tank. Not as easy to do in this car where it's roughly 13 gallons a tank. So I have to kind of wait until the gas tank goes pretty low before I can fill up this gas tank and keep the discounts flowing. I wish that it was one of those things. It's Kratos in here. Kratos is there. It's one of those things where it would have been better if uh, they would have give you a check mark to keep the discount or keep discount flowing at an 8 gallon fill up like I think it used to be years ago, but now it's 10. So I have to risk, you know, running out of gas in order to keep the discount. But it is what it is. If I have to drive longer distances, then I'll just top up before I leave. Let's say I'm going to go to a different part of the state or another state. I don't really drive long distances in this car, for the most part. Traffic is so bad on the FDR Drive that I have to take city streets. So I'm going to have to drive through Harlem, which is usually not a smart thing to do. But it is 9:34 in the morning, so I'm probably not going to draw the ire of people that assume that I have more than they do because I'm driving a drop-top late model BMW. I usually like to avoid driving through Harlem in this car. Um, you know, Ethical and safety reasons. But anyway, I'm not going to sit on the FDR, which is a giant red line right now. Mrs. Evil is here. What's up? What was the workout itinerary this morning? So this morning I was supposed to do 4, 4, 4, and 4, which is 4 working sets of the leg press, the hamstring curls, the hack squat, and the leg extension. But you'll find out why it was worth it to cut my workout short today. So, I ate too late last night. I messed that up. And so I ended up in a situation where my food, basically digested through the night and it was not ready. The waste product was not ready to vacate until after I had warmed up completely for my leg press. So somebody was waiting to use the machine. So I was like, yo, you could take the machine while I go to the bathroom. And of course, I had to release the demons. And that took some time, which I really hate because 15 minutes can cost you a lot, especially when you have such limited time like I do um, to um, to get through 16 very difficult reps, to sets, excuse me. So I warmed up for my leg press. I came back, you know, making sure that I vacate everything. I'm cleaned up properly. That takes time. I came back and I didn't really particularly feel very warmed up anymore. So that first set at 455, 8 reps, did not feel great. But I will say that it felt better um, as I went through sets 2, 3, and 4. I was able to keep the rest periods relatively short. But obviously, you keep the rest period short, and um, the fatigue builds up with more severity a lot quicker than than you might be expecting. So I guess I'll go down to 126. So I did make it, and it was cool. It was good. But then like I kind of energy kind of dropped a little bit going towards the hamstring curl. But I did add a rep per set, so I did do 4 sets of 12 at 130 pounds. I did it seated. So I'll probably be dropping down to 8 reps on Saturday and going up to 140 pounds on the hamstring curl. But then, like, I had to do the hack squat. But midway through my leg curl, I had agreed to work with a client while I was training remotely. So I had to give her a lot of attention, which slowed me down tremendously. So I had to be more economical with my perception of my training, and so I had to shorten the rest periods and actually shorten the work. So I was supposed to do 4 sets of 11 at 225 on the hack squat, and I only got in 2 sets. But I was like, you know what? It's getting towards the cutoff time for when parking kind of expires. So you know what? I'm just gonna do the second set on the hack squat and then bounce. Now on a normal day, the guys. Okay, this guy is going to take his dick out and pee in the middle of the street. Okay, that's great. Um, this day just is just not. I just today's just not my day, y'all. Today's just not my day. I'm just gonna be real about that. I mean, this day can really fuck off. And this bitch ass ninja took his dick out facing the fucking street. I mean, how much of a fucking loser can you be? It's 9:40 in the morning. We wonder why we can't have nice things. We wonder why we have the horrible stereotypes about black men that we do. And it's just like, come the fuck on, man. Anyway, moving right along. Um, so I'm like, you know what? I'm not gonna chance it. I don't know when these. You can't even really call them traffic officers. They're ticketing mosquitoes. They are uh, they're parasites on New York City living. So my legs are feeling sufficiently worked, not quite cooked, which I probably needed a break from anyway because I'm gonna cook them on Saturday anyway. But I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to do the leg extensions today. I'm going to do the 2 sets of 11 on the hack squat at 225. I'm going to get that done. I'm going to feel good about it. I'm not going to feel bad. I'm going to skip the leg extensions, and I'm going to focus on training this client because my plan was when I was done, and I didn't have any more time left, I was simply just going to go to the car and then sit there and do the remote session. So I leave the gym and I turn to the left because I had to park a little further up because there wasn't as many parking spots in front of the gym. And this mofo crossed the street with his fucking ticket scanner thing in hand, was like crossing the street, was already trying to like figure out what address he was going to plug in there. And I'm walking towards the car, but he keeps walking towards my registration sticker. And then I had to yell at the guy from like 25 feet away, I'm here. This dude was so thirsty to hurry up and scan the registration so he can, because the thing is, even if they scan it in error, they still got to give you the ticket because the registration's already been scanned. So they really try to do everything they can to like really on the bleeding edge of the very letter of the law to try to make sure that they hurry up and scan that thing so they can, be the mosquitoes of city living. That's really what they are. They don't actually help with traffic. Their uniform says traffic officer, but it really should just be ticket agent because they don't do anything to help with traffic. And I have to yell at this. You see me walking towards the car. I'm making eye contact with you, but you have to make sure, hey, unless the guy actually says this is his car. Oh, man, now I can't leave that ticket. Oh, man. You're so fucking thirsty to drop a ticket, which would have cost me $115, and he would have gotten probably $0 of that. And then, not even 25 seconds later, another one of them was walking in the opposite direction. Thirsty. And then, like, he's like, eyeing me. Like, motherfucker, I'm sitting in the car. And you're eyeing me. Like, no, I'm not getting out of the car. Yeah, you got to move. The sign does not say all others no standing. It just says no parking. And as long as I'm sitting in the car, it's not parking. And why are you sitting here at a green light? I really, really hate honking my horn, but some of these guys, man. Like, what are you sitting there at a green light for? Let's look at some comments before I'm not able to do so at this red light. I joined a group on the Telegram app and I'm starting to regret it. Serious next level dark web shit. You're going to have to talk to me a little bit more about that. He says, where's Charlie? Yeah, I don't really know Charlie that well. I only really heard of like who he was um, when he had that dust up with Sneeko. Um, City living, lots of stress. You know what, Critter? You're correct. But it's like they're so predatory. They're just like mosquitoes. And you wear that uniform, but whenever there is a traffic jam that actually can be avoided. I'm talking about the worst parts of it. They're nowhere to be found. They're off parked on the side somewhere looking for a reason to give someone a ticket when they could be moving traffic along. So I get in the car, I do the session, and I start thinking to myself, maybe I should do my driving live stream. Now, then I thought, you know what? Let me go from the gas station instead. You know what? I'm going to go from the gas station. Um, and do the stream from there. And so on the highway, but the part of the highway I wanted to get on was like really messed up. So I had to drive through like really going uptown on city streets because the traffic was so bad on the highway, and I just didn't want to mess with it. So to then get on the highway, for up Manhattan Island, and um, I get to the entrance, right? So the traffic agent that's supposed to be there to actually help the situation, the light had turned red for me, and my first inclination obviously is to stop. But I know that there is supposed to be a traffic officer there giving hand directions. So I am trying to the hand directions because I think I'm giving directions that don't uh, quite jive with what the street light is saying, and I kind of figured that would be the case. So I look over to my left because that's where she was posted, to my left. And I'm looking at her and she's waving her through. So I'm trying to quickly read her hand signals, and she's waving people through. And I hesitate because I wanted to make sure I read her right. And she's like, "Are you, making the turn or something like that?" So I was like, "Oh, let me hurry up and move." And then, as I made the turn at her behest, and she's waving me through a red light, because we don't do right turn on red here in New York City for the most part. There's only like 3 red lights in the entire city where right on red is legally allowed, unless you get instructions that say otherwise. And I'm trying to read her instructions, and she's yelling after me about how inconsiderate I am when I'm trying to read her hand instructions and her voice instructions. Pick a lane, lady. Either you're waving me through or you're putting the hand up. The only reason why I hesitated is because I needed to make sure that you were waving me through the red light. I'm not just going to assume that I'm supposed to drive through a red light, whether I'm going through the intersection or making any kind of right or left-hand turn, right? I'm not a fucking idiot. So you're waving me to go through, and when I follow your instructions, you're yelling at me. So the only thing I can think of is maybe she's one of these climate people. Is like, you're one guy driving in a drop top, vehicle. You're inconsiderate. I don't know. I was following your hand instructions. I don't know what you want me to do. You waved me through the red light. You did not put your hand up. And not only that, because I hesitated to make sure I could make eye contact with her and properly read her hand signals. I made sure to do that. Not only that, the vehicle behind me also made the same right-hand turn after me, which leads me to believe she was still waving the vehicles through even after me. So what the fuck are you yelling at me for? How am I inconsiderate when I'm following your instructions? And then when I look behind me, I see the Uber that was behind me also make the same turn, which means you also waved him through. So I followed your instructions, and you're yelling stupid shit after me. What the fuck is wrong with you? I just don't understand people. Like, lady, you're not making it easy. You're supposed to help us in these traffic situations, and she doesn't know that her body language and her uh, hand signals, they should all be giving the same instructions. I don't think that there's anything more that you can do in heavy traffic to show that you are considerate by tapping on the brake lightly to make sure that you're following the instructions properly first before making any further moves. And I know that there's somebody behind me with a TNLC license plate, the Texas Limos Account, TLNC license plate, who is going to want me to do the wrong thing because they're always going to do the wrong thing. So I'm reading the impatience of the driver behind me, trying to read your facial expressions, your hand signals, and your body language, and then your words then conflict with your own hand signals. You're annoying. You're not helpful. So, annoying, guys, annoying. But anyway, I got my workout done. I did get that impromptu session done. I really can't be too mad. Today could have been much worse. Now I have a full gas tank. And I had you guys basically on the ride with me. So, I don't know, y'all. Whatever, yo. I'm going to do my best to do the right thing um, and encourage you guys to also do the right thing as well. Because even, when people yell at you for doing the right thing, there's really not so much they can do to you because you did the right thing. Continue to keep doing it. Continue to keep working hard. Um, I will be back on Saturday working hard um, to bring you guys content and to crush my legs. I'm going to do 15 or 21 deadlift repetitions at 275 pounds. I might even bring the Versa grips in for it, so I can take my hands out of the equation when it comes for excuses to not do more work. Especially since I want to do more work to make up for what didn't get done today. So I will be seeing you guys on Saturday morning. This is Dr. Evil signing off, reminding you that if you believe yourself to be strong, I believe it, you should believe it, because it's true. Catch you in the next one.